My name is Peter Berninger with AVShowrooms, and I'm here with Ozan Torin from Highend by Us. Ozan, how are you?
Very good. Nice to have you guys here.
Well, I'll tell you, we are delighted to be here for the global launch of the Borresen 05 Silver loudspeakers. Now, you saw the review a short time ago of the standard 05s. This is a horse of a different color. And as soon as I came into this room, it was spectacular. It was a bigger stage. It had a bigger reach in the bass. The speakers seemed to disappear just a little bit more than what we heard in our last video. So, Borresen 05 Silvers, made in Denmark, designed by Michael Borresen, Borresen Acoustics. Ozan, you've known Michael Borresen and Lars Christensen for a long time.
Correct.
And you've brought this speaker in. There's several pairs here in the United States, thanks to you.
Correct.
Thanks to you, thanks to you. So what is the difference between the standard 05 and the 05 Silver?
Well, for everyone that knows Michael Borresen, his obsession is basically to get rid of inductance in his cables, in his previous designs, and together with Borresen. So when he first started Borresen speakers, he wanted to get rid of all the iron that was introducing inductance into the speaker. And by reducing the inductance, you take away the noise and lower the noise level. So all of a sudden you have a much more open and deep and layered soundstage. So he basically came up with the standard version initially, which was a copper version, and the copper has got nothing to do with the wiring, has got nothing to do with anything else, but behind the driver there are neomagnets, and to hold those neomagnets together he was using a pure copper ring, which is this thick and it's cast iron, and they were basically doing it. And when I first heard the copper ones, it was like the ones in your review, they were mind-boggling how quiet they were compared to some of the other speaker designs I have heard. Then he took it a little bit further and introduced the silver version, because he thought the inductance of the silver rings actually is much lower than even the copper. And this is one of the few designs in the world that basically uses zero iron. Therefore, the inductance is very low. And when I mean by silver, is replacing that copper ring that holds the magnets behind the driver is now a pure silver cast ring.
As you can see here, as we're showing you here in the video right now. And in addition, Ozan, these are also cryogenically treated. And they do that. The process takes 72 hours.
Correct.
For each batch that they put in the cryo container, as you can see here. And what it does is it takes the structure of the material, and in this case silver, because it's a silver, and it refines the basic structure of the silver when it's super cooled down. And it takes out any impurities in the silver as it is leveled down into the cryo. As the nitrogen is entered into the system, it takes 12 hours to 24 hours to process, and then another to cool it down. And so effectively, you're purifying the silver.
Correct. And it's not only the silver, but
It's
it's
the basket,
every single
it's every
component,
part of the loudspeaker.
including the crossover.
Wow, the crossover too.
Including the crossover is cryo treated.
Wow, wow.
So in the standard version you have two options. You can have it as a standard option, which is the copper version. You can have the standard cryo treated, or you can have the silver. When you buy the silver, everything comes together with it, with the cryo treatment and everything else.
Well, I'll tell you, the differences between the standard and the cryo and silver are primarily bigger space. You're getting much more, it seems like there's more apparent detail.
Correct.
Coming through, and it's more effortless
More
in the
open.
presentation, and it's, as Ozan just said, it's much more open sounding. And the stage here, as you'll hear soon in our listening session, is immense. I mean, it just goes from the other side of that wall to the other side of the wall behind me to behind the wall behind us, I mean, or in front of us. It is, the imaging is just off the charts. Differences. You'll hear it in a Dead Can Dance. I hear more detail in the drum Thrax. I hear more detail in the different instruments within the mix. The percussion instruments in Dead Can Dance are really cool, man. And then you really get to hear and feel them. So it's drawing you more in to the music itself. And I think that's what we're all looking for.
Exactly. One note that I should make. We should not basically think about this as copper versus silver cables, brighter versus... It's got nothing to do with cabling, it's got nothing to do with internal wiring. It's all about trying to reduce the inductance on the drivers to a minimum. And what he has done with the silvers is just that. The speakers are not harsh because they're silver. They're not laid back because they're copper. They're not natural sounding because they're copper or versus silver. This has got to do with inductance of the driver. You have to hear it. Every time somebody calls me up to be interested in this pair, I order another pair. I've got another pair upstairs which just arrived 3 days ago.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's great.
And silver.
That's great. And viewers, it's the fit and finish. I mean, look at this. Look at the elements in the speaker. The side element. Look at the drivers. It's exquisite. And look at the veneer, the walnut veneer. It is just so subtle. It is so Scandinavian beautiful. This is a speaker for anybody's living room. I mean, this isn't not for just an audiophile who's going to live and have a big horn in his room and cables all over the floor. This is for a sophisticated listener. This is for a businessman who loves music. This is for a player in an orchestra.
Oh yeah.
To have beautiful music at home. And so the Borresen 05 Silver, it really enters the world of super speakers. And I think the best way to let you know about it is to listen to it.
Correct.
So we've listened to 4 hours today of heavy lifting listening. We've heard Jethro Tull. We've heard Dead Can Dance. We've heard Buddy Guy. We've heard Michel Joannès. And every track we've played has brought it more realism to the experience. Just a little, well, it's a lot more realism than the standard 05. So we want you to hear that too with us. So we're going to play one of our standard tracks, Dead Can Dance, Yolanga, and you'll hear the shakers come in on the left and the right. Lisa will be chanting, but you're listening for space and you're listening for involvement. So let's do it.
Let's do it. And you will hear it exactly the same system you have heard the standards with.
That's right, because the electronics, and let's go to the system consists of
Thrax Terrace hybrid monoblocks, 250 watts per channel. The Thrax Ansuz preamplifier, and then the Maximinus DAC, which is a ladder DAC, and then we have the Vitus SCD CD player / transport, and obviously one of the best sources in the world, United Home Audio Ultima 4 tape deck.
Yeah.
And all of the cabling is Ansuz, which is again Michael Borresen design, and this is the top of the line, which is the Ansuz Supreme DTCs.
Yeah. We have DTC in our system, and the Supremes have just a bigger, wider box.
Just like me, compared to you. You're slimmer, you're DTC, I'm DTC Supreme. A little bit wider and bigger.
Okay, well, let's listen to Dead Can Dance, and then you can check out which is better, the Oz size or the Peter size.
Thank you, Peter.
Okay, Oz, here we go, guys. Did you hear that?
Wow.
My goodness gracious. It exploded in the room. Now, when Lisa came in and started chanting after the shakers were on the left and on the right, it was as if she's right here in the flesh. I mean, it was more Lisa than I've ever heard it before. I'll tell you, these speakers, these don't sound like loudspeakers. They sound like you're at a concert.
Yeah.
Sound like you're at a concert. The bass extension, this is flat down to 25 hertz.
Yep.
Yep. Goes up to 50 kilohertz. Beautiful, beautiful design. The signature Borresen tweeter, 4.5. There's two of them in an MTM setup. Mid-range bass units. And then we have four, count them four, one on top, three on the bottom of the 8-inch mid-range bass driver. And it is producing holographic imaging on that dead condense.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious.
And the layering in there,
Oh,
and
my-
also the spacing is just
I know, it's off
It's
the...
unreal.
It's unreal. It really is unreal. And the compare and contrast, we play the same track on these same components. These components were up at AVShowrooms, the exact amplifiers, for the past 8 months. And so we have a definite beat on those. And when I came in and sat down and listened to the 05 Silvers for the first time, I thought, this is a horse of a different color. It's a very, very open, detailed, beautifully etched sound that sounds so, it just, gosh, you're just so drawn into it,
Yeah.
Ozan.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. So, Borresen 05 Silvers. You have to step up in price, but it's expensive for high-end audio equipment. And as I said in my last review, it's no more, it's less expensive than a new Ferrari, and you'll pay a premium for that. And, they're not charging premiums yet. So.
At least.
But if you're looking for impact, if you're looking for detail retrieval, dynamic range, 25 hertz, 50 kilohertz, if you're looking for that realism, if you're looking for being drawn into your music, I cannot think of a better speaker on the market today. I really cannot. And again, the differences between the standard and the silver they took me by surprise. So, viewers, Ozan, thank you for having us into Highend by Oz today to listen to these outstanding loudspeakers. This is the world premiere of the loudspeaker. So viewers, you've heard it first, and you have to check these out at a show. If you're in the market for an ultimate loudspeaker, you don't have to spend $700,000.
No.
No, you don't.
No,
you
you
do
don't.
not. No, you don't. This is just, it gives you everything you want, and look at how beautiful it is and simple it looks. It's just a great thin look, front look. It's only 12 inches wide, it's 61 inches tall, and it's 21.8 inches deep. So it's a very, very beautiful, elegant design in your room. And it's a desert island speaker. Desert island.
Come and check it out at Capital Audio Fest this year, hopefully.
That's great. That's great. And we'll be filming that. So if you can't get to the show, watch the videos and see if you can hear the same signature that we've heard today. So again, one of the best loudspeakers in the world. Detail, space, holographic imaging. It just booms you. The dynamic range off the hook. And it just sounds so real. It
And
sounds so real.
effortless.
So real.
Effortless.
Effortless is the word.
Effortless.
Effortless. Well, viewers, Peter Berninger reporting with Ozan Torin from Highend by Oz, introducing the Borresen 05 Silver cryogenically treated loudspeaker to the world. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you at the next show. See you at the next video. Bye.
Bye.